the most important part, a thumbnail. Okay, there's a little bolski than that going on. There we go. There we go. Hey, what's up? What's up? Just give me a little bit of a momento as I slowly but surely load up a boat. A little bit by bit as we come on late tonight. Both late as hell. But luckily I don't got to go to work until like 5 in the afternoon tomorrow, so I don't really care. But I only have 2 days off instead of 3 days, so that's lame. But hey, at least I get the hours and money, so who cares? We've got to have money. Oh, come on. There we go. Gotta have money in this land of milk and honey. No shit, right? You need to make money to save money, and you spend money to make money to spend money to save money to have money to spend. It's a conundrum of bullshit, isn't it? Oh, that's so much fun. Just that one right there was so much better. My goddamn fucking nose. Yeah. There we go. Man, there's always got to be someone that does a Ligma that just cannot make it more obvious. Y'all need to learn, man. I've never played the dicks in my booty hole, bro. Like, come on. If you're gonna do one that's clever. Because he could have just said, "You ever played that game Dixon?" See, that's the problem with some of you with the Ligma jokes, is that you just throw it all out at once. You gotta lead into it. Then I'll be like, Dixon? What game is that? And then you say, Dixon my ass. That's how you do a Ligma. At least that's like Ligma 101 right there. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do love Dixon my ass. Oh my god. I like how the first, like, not even 5 minutes in, I have to lecture about Ligma jokes. I feel like I have to do this at least once a week. At least a little bit. A little more than a little. Oh, you know, I forgot to put all messages at the top. There we go. Yeah, because I guess for whatever reason you didn't want to show that comment. What's your favorite amendment? Mine's the second. Probably the first, followed by the second. Wait, when did they remake Dick's? You didn't hear about that? Yeah, like the original game came out like 20 years ago, and then they rebooted it. They already have the second game out now. My guy, I'm subbing. Well, I will say this much: I am kind of a lefty, but that doesn't mean I also love my guns. I'll say that much. I like pew pews too as much as Serve does. Okay, maybe not as much, just because some of them are like weirdly, like unironically homosexual about it, and I'm like, okay, you kind of give gun owners a bad name, but they're all we like me. Hell yeah, brother. Sure about. See, all right, now, okay, now, Black's actually starting to get it. Did you hear about Mike? Yeah, Black Cloud. Now you're getting it. There you go. Because then you throw into Mike Hawks, bro. First left, I can crew. This might be something, bro. Well, to be fair, you'd be surprised how, like, a lot of lefties are kind of like me about different things. I mean, you would, like, it's not really as black and white when it comes to, like, the left or right issues, you know, and shit, more so than you think. I'm sure there's probably, like, different things that, you know, we probably agree with on more than you realize. Doesn't even make sense. At the end of the first game, you finish all over there, guys facing chest. Well, it's called round 2 for a reason, man. Kicks my ass 2, the second round. Got Z-Face, what are you smoking on? This trifecta cross of something. Gelato, Mac, and Slurricane, and also it's like the most seediest weed I've ever had. I literally, like, I have an old grinder that I just decided to put them on, just to keep them, because I need to find some to actually put them in, and they're like all over that thing. And there's a bunch of them on the other grinder in the other room that have a bunch in there. It's probably collectively like, I don't even know how many seeds. And frankly, like, I wouldn't be surprised if at least there's a few of them that could germinate. Maybe. Kicks my ass too. I didn't hear no bell. When did we ever agree to a safe word, huh? We never did. That was never part of the equation. There we go. The West Coast says we grow and dialed in like the Hubble. Yeah, we really do, though. We were kind of spoiled as shit when it comes to weed out here. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, I will say, like, whenever I go to other states, especially if they have legal weed, I always am usually not the most impressed. I hate to say it. I mean, we are spoiled out here. I mean, California pretty much kind of like nailed it down, and then once Washington and then later Oregon legalized it, we pretty much perfected it. We're pretty much, you know, perfected what Cali was doing, and now Cali's kind of doing that now, and now it's just it's kind of like on a rock kind of utopia if like weed's your main thing that you want to like have a lot of easy, epic, good shit and access to. And at least I can't speak for Cali, but I can speak for Oregon. It's pretty cheap here. It's cheap as shit. I mean, there's spendy places. There's like Nectar, like corporate dispos that are definitely like pretty expensive. I mean, expensive in the sense that like instead of a $20 ounce that you can find in some places, it's going to be more like, you know, like 50, 60, maybe 40 for some cheaper end stuff, but that's what's going to be. Shout out Vancouver, BC. Yeah, I like Vancouver. I'm gonna. I'm trying to work things out to see if I could go out there, but now I'm realizing, like, with the Deep Fat Fried meetup in Seattle, I'm just like, oh fuck, those those two things are like close to each other. I know that much, and I need to figure out what dates are what, and if it's even doable. Because I can only really make one of those trips, and I really want to fucking see Rush, but I also want to go to this meetup. So I'm now thinking at this point where I'm like, fuck, do I like do I just try to say fuck it and do all at once? Like, because depending on how the dates work, I could, hit the meetup and then just take a flight from Seattle to Vancouver and take a train to Seattle because that would at least be the most affordable option. And then I could just fly from Vancouver back to Portland. Problem is, though, that's that's a lot. Just on the virtue of like going to two different places, for two different events that are going to cost money. At least with Seattle, that one is going to be manageable because I'm not really going to be spending much at all, if anything, outside of alcohol and weed, maybe. But considering the group with DFF and the community, I guarantee you, like, half of the people there got joints and weed, and I just talked to a few people and we were just chiefing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't be a big deal. Vancouver, though, that's going to be my, the bank breaker. That's going to be like the, oh shit. That's going to be fun. I mean, it will be, but if it's doable. I did at least look at prices for that trip. At least what I would like to try to do it as. Like a 2-night trip where I show up in the morning. Well, I guess, yeah, 2 nights and like, well, 3 nights. I show up in the evening, and then, I have a whole day just checking out Vancouver, and then the next day, or at least one of those days, I'm going to the show and take some of it to check out Vancouver, and then check out the show, obviously, and then there's, a day to just check out Vancouver, and then the next day I leave. So I'm like, it is doable. The prices for the tickets on that are actually not as bad as I thought they were going to be. So I'm like, okay, that actually is doable. Now I need to equate that and the ticket price for Rush, and then now I have to start kind of guesstimating how much it's just going to cost to be there, because at that point it's going to be way more than at least than what my pocketbook's going to have, like, because the Canadian dollar is like what, like $1.50 in comparison to like $1, and plus they're more expensive just in general on top of that, and it's Vancouver, and I've heard it's pretty spendy, so I'm just like, fuck, most of my shit I'm basically going to be like, I'm pretty much, from what I could tell, probably no matter what, I'm going to have to penny pinch while I'm out there. But I still think, I can at least, do some shit besides, like, I'm going to want to check out other shit, like maybe like some cool parks, maybe a museum or something. So honestly, like, outside of food, like, I probably wouldn't be spending much just outside of the show. Because I'm going to want to at least get something from the show, from the concert, but because it's fucking Rush after all, but I'm just like, shit. Because it's coming up, and I need to really start calculating on at least exactly for that, and then also now look about, the dates overall and all that shit, and just see if it actually works. Because I really don't know exactly the date of the DFF meetup, I just know it's in December, and I think it is around the same time as the trip to Vancouver. Nova Scotia here, cheap bounce too. Nice. Land of the Trailer Park Boys. That's a deal today. The absolute high end, 28.5 gram for over $300. Damn. Yeah, like, a lot of, bud you can find that's legit, like, still, like, $300 or 200 for ounces and shit. But that's, like, the equivalent of, like, top shelf, basically. Get some UK, you'll make a fortune. That's the problem though. Landed top shelf American weed for like 5K a pound. God damn. Yeah, because if it's like, because now there's like cost of logistics added to that, you know? And that shit's like some extra stuff too. And yeah, you would make a lot more. Oh my god, that felt fucking amazing. I've been wanting to do that all goddamn day. I did a little bit and it helped. And oh my god. Oh. Between that metal show yesterday and then just like having to work all day today, my back like fucking hates me right now. Mostly up here. What's that you drink? You always got the same drink. It's a beer hug. Those Cali boys, British boys linking up, making bands. Well, if you're getting, American weed, chances are it's probably from legal states that are on the East Coast. Like, I can imagine it being a little too ridiculous, and a little extra logistics, when it comes to California. Unless you fly it, or transport across the country and you have that distributed in, like, still illegal states, because that definitely happens. There's plenty of these fucking, like, people / like, workers that work at these dispos, mainly the farms and shit like that, where, yeah, they will just... I mean, they basically do what the black market used to be. But instead of weird, like, Sensimilla or whatever the fuck you might get from a cartel or some random hippie and, growing that shit in the forest, now it's, like, all regulated. It's just kind of a weird black / gray market zone because of stupid arbitrary state borders. It's partly why I fucking hate Idaho, too, because I don't think they're ever going to legalize it. And yet pretty much everywhere around them has it legal. And then go out of their way to fucking bust, people, mainly college kids, going to either MSU or Washington or Oregon or whatever, because they know they probably got a bunch of weed on them. And that's what they're looking for. Like, the state Idaho police will legit, like, sometimes even have, like, border stops and, like, check people sometimes. Like, some, like, border stop or something. I'm just like, the fuck? Like, literally, like, stopping people and be like, hey, what's up? Basically, literally, like, well, what's your business going for Idaho kind of shit. I'm like, what? What do we do? Going in another country? It's like we're going to a fucking wedding. Like, it's in Montana. Like, we're barely going for your tiny little pencil neck of a thing there. Like, huh? Fuck Idaho. I just, ugh. And plus, they think they have this fun, little ambitious idea to try to, like, gobble up some of Washington and Oregon for this whole greater Idaho thing. Mostly Oregon, because I guess Idaho just wants to fuck us too for whatever reason, which is kind of ironic. Because Eastern Oregon literally would be fucking way worse off if they were to agree and actually go through with the whole idea of becoming part of, like, greater Idaho or whatever. And the thing is, it's just a dumb movement anyway. It's not like it's going to actually go anywhere. But a bunch of counties in Idaho and in Oregon have, voted yeah to doing so. So it's not like it isn't just, like, not a thing. There is, like, an actual movement to try to push for it, but it's just not going to happen. Like, that literally has to go to the federal government, I'm pretty sure, to, like, agree to shit and stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of different factors that the states just can't just do that. It has to go to, like, the federal government first, I'm pretty sure. So, it's not going to happen. But I still find it funny that they think they can try to make their state more, like, economically feasible, when it's like, dog, just change your policies of your state, you dumb fucks. Like, your hyper, super weird, conservative mindset about different things, with your state is not working. Even Montana is not like some lefty bastion and they run shit way better than your ass is. Like, for fuck's sake. They're like a purple state. And even, like, in Billings, for example, like, Montana's actually kind of growing, like, now at this point. They've been steadily kind of growing when it used to be kind of like a boom-bust state, where a lot of towns would have, bolster economy for, like, a decade or two, then just bust and there's nothing there. And then it bolsters up again with something else filling the world for a bit, and then just repeats. Now it's not really so much the case anymore. Now there's actually so much steady growth, and one of the more bigger growing cities in Montana is Billings, which is funny because it's also the largest city in Montana. Even before it was like legitimately like somewhat like growing. Even then, it wasn't really that huge. I remember seeing like a lot of the skyline of Billings. Literally, like every time I'd be visiting my family out there, slowly but surely, more and more would grow out of it. Like a nice face angers you. Well, I don't know what to tell you. That ain't my problem. If you don't like it, then move on, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna teach you to be in the corner for 300 seconds instead. Hey, lady, how things go on, sweetie? I know, big boy. How was last night? Did you enjoy? I'm the bearded lady. What are you, one of the freaks? Please tell me someone got that reference. Please tell me someone at least did. Churchill is a hero. So is Trump. Definitely not. If basically like outright isolating like America's like influence in the world entirely is like saving it or whatever, this whole war with Iran escalations and shit, like if that is being a hero, then I'd hate to see what of like an actual like real hero looks like at that point. Like, goddamn. Better than Bush. A part of why we're here in the first place is because of that cocksucker. Besides, some of the fucking, way things got established, especially when it came to like, doing a little bit of, meddling when it comes to guaranteeing, a win, is with Jeb Bush as the governor of Florida, guaranteeing solidifying the election during 2000. And do you think Churchill's a hero? I mean, in the sense of like fighting the Nazis and stopping fascism, sure. But he also necessarily wasn't like some hero in the sense that he was a good guy. He did a lot of fucked up shit in India and also was a pretty fervent racist in the sense that he literally detested Indian people and basically treated that as like his own little farm, basically, and essentially did a lot of starvation of India. Using the justification of like, oh, we just gotta, do it for the war. Even though the British Raj was also involved directly in the war because of the Japanese and Burma and shit, you know what I mean? Like in the East. But I guess they don't matter though. Fuck them. Because you're too stupid to understand what I'm smoking and you need to be timed out again. Was made stronger, making America strong again. If that's the case, then how come like we are literally like running out of allies? Our fucking fuel reserves and oil is literally at like critical, depletion, which is very fucking concerning. Like and also with measles at all-time high coming back, like this fucking parasite that's been spreading around with various different vegetables and produce due to the overt deregulation that Trump's administration has done, especially with RFK. Did buy sell our reserves? No. We're literally are tapping into our reserves now. Like we're always supposed to have like a certain level of reserves just on, for various multitude of circumstances and for the virtue of stability, but we are literally been tapping into it more than ever. As far as I'm aware, like I'm pretty sure Biden didn't do that. Especially if there was reserve sold, sure shit, wasn't nowhere near enough to be some sort of a disasterly problem. And if anything, if that's the case, then it's probably just trading, oil for like, for a contract with another company when it comes to, like doing business handlings with the fossil fuel industry. It's not like, those reserves ain't coming back in a different form. Not saying that Biden was good or nothing. I don't like him either. It was literally just a lame duck, between an extended version of, the fucking Trump administration, where arguably, even me as a leftist, I would agree and say that Trump should have won in 2020. I do fervently, generally believe that, and I even was advocating for it back then. Because I kind of saw the writing on the wall if, like, Biden was going to win it. Because it would literally be like, someone else literally needs to step in and, like, take his place, like, pretty much damn near immediately, which never happened. And then when it did, it was well after the primaries happened in 24, and then basically just became a fundamental, like, total disregard of the democratic process of trying to have someone fill in that role. Instead, they just basically let the vice president, fill in the role. Not officially, because she never was, like, a president, but she essentially, for all intents and purposes, basically had to act like it for the last little bit during the campaign. While Biden basically just fucked off after being pressured to step down, which is ironic and also such a fucking contradiction of what he said in the beginning of his presidency, because he said he was going to be a one-term president, and then at the end of it decided to be like, nah, I'm actually going to run again, bitch. Oops. Trump's lesser two evils, one reason why no one still be the better option. Bernie, who got fucking basically sidewinded by the DNC twice. First by Hillary, and then just broadly by the DNC and Warren. And I hate to say it because I don't like Kamala whatsoever, but because of Tim Walz, at least, she would have been, arguably a lesser evil. But at this rate, it's like, I don't really give a fuck about speculating, hypotheticalizing about, like, who would have been better. I don't care. I'd rather just be moving forward at this rate. Brain's a joke. I mean, not really, but I wouldn't support him running for president anymore. Or at least, also, I want to support, in the sense of, he's also still Zionist. He still defends Israel despite also, like, kind of weirdly doing this, like, well, they need to stop their war crimes, but they have a right to exist and still be a nation and government and blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, I mean, I can't take away for what he's done, especially when it comes to the progress and being, consistent pretty much his entire fucking life. But, it's like, at a certain point, even like what Riley said, you get burned. Problem is, though, I don't think, Bernie, burned us. It's that the establishment burned him. And all of us included. Eighty-year-old shooting man who's literally, like, has dementia and shits himself regularly. And also, wasn't he supposed to be ending wars? How come he's, like, overtly, like, having this escalation of conflict of Iran when he's like, no, we're gonna end the wars? It seems like people forget that a lot. I'm gonna be the peace president, folks, let me tell you. Oh, well, I decided with Israel to bomb the fuck out of Iran. No wars, though. We're not starting any. Just pretend this one isn't happening, even though it literally is, like, globally the most impactful fucking thing that I'm doing right now. But nah. Biden fell upstairs. How do you even do that? You slightly misstep, or you take a step and it's only like the very tip of your foot that it lands on the step and you slide off. He's an old fucking man, but also, Trump is at least, there's literally at least a video where Trump is like falling, trying to get into a fucking limo. It was about to go in and he just kind of went, ugh, and just kind of like fell for a bit. And he had two Secret Service guys have to literally like, ugh, like lift his ass up and put him in the limo. Let's go with China. Let me tell you about those communist China. Both Biden and Trump are puppets. That I agree with. And fundamentally, they're fucking Zionist puppets to the real president of the United States, Benjamin Netanyahu. And the Israeli state. Like, arguably, maybe that's kind of the reason why I overall will, no matter what, say fuck, like the current administration, whether it's Biden or Trump or hypothetical Kamala one. I'll call dub if I consider a dub there, but trust me, there ain't. It's in lower ranks of the troop. No, he's not in the lower ranks. It's always bigger fish. Nah, not in this case. I mean, the problem is you're not entirely wrong, because Benjamin Netanyahu isn't the most psychotic fuck that is running Israel. If you look in the Knesset, there are people who are fundamentally a lot more extreme than he is, who actually think Benjamin Netanyahu is too soft, in some cases. So, you're not entirely wrong, but the chances of someone like them, like, taking leadership in Israel is kind of low. But that doesn't mean that isn't a possibility. Like, that's why, the state of Israel, as it concurrently stands, needs to be disbanded. You don't think I don't know what those initials mean, bitch? Nah, we don't fuck with that here. Just because I'm fucking on Zionism doesn't mean that I hate and detest fucking Nazis, too. Get that fucking Hitler shit out of here, bitch. And besides, I'm pretty sure if you want to actually like kind of read up about how a lot of the far right extremists, like terrorist organizations that's in Israel, or at least in the mandate of British Palestine, you should probably look up at how they got a lot of their funding and start. It wasn't just for the British at the time too, but during the initial phases of expelling Jews out of Germany, they literally paid the British and some of these Jews and Zionists, to literally pay them to go to Jerusalem. Be like, and pretty much, use the idea of like the Holy Land and shit to convince them to just go there instead. And many of them took it, especially those that believed in the broader Zionist cause. Because Zionism is not like some ancient ideology that's only been around since like maybe at the earliest 1880s. It's a new thing. It's a fundamentalist revisionist ideology. And in its nature as well, anti-Semitic too. And shocker, and the Nazis, fundamentally one of their core values is being anti-Semitic, help fund that. And then, part of that was the revisionist idea that like, oh, all Jews are a part of this thing. They're all part of this whole fundamental. And they use that as a way to be like, to use anti-Semitism as a way to divide, or to at least obfuscate and really divide people too, to be like, well, you're Nazi now? It's like, no. In fact, your anti-Semitic shit of lumping every fucking Jew as some, like, part of the Zionist cause when that's just literally fundamentally false is more anti-Semitic than my shit, bitch. Plus, it's kind of a contradiction if I detest Nazis, but also hate, like, a fascistic ideology, too, that is kind of similar to it. Because fascistic ideologies suck ass, and that shouldn't be a thing. But, I don't know. Because I just hate all Jews, though, seriously. Even though I supported and advocated and voted for a Jew, Bernie Sanders. I have friends, co-workers that are Jewish. Like, have, plenty of different people I've, listened to musically when it comes to different, like, other politics, philosophy, other shit that are Jewish. A lot of scientists that I, venerate when it comes to science. Shocker, Jewish, like Einstein, for example. It's like, kind of a contradiction there. In fact, arguably, especially with how industrious, a lot of Jewish people are, I respect the fuck out of them. I kind of wish I got a little bit of that blood in me. So not even gonna lie. It's like, fuck, I think it could be pretty industrious people when time, comes for it. You know what I mean? Like, because they fucking had to for pretty much like most of their lives, essentially. Dealing with pogroms and other bullshit and everything. I mean, fuck. Everyone, I thought everyone knew three-letter agencies ruled America. Nah, it's money. And that's what rules it. Which those three-letter alphabet agencies and shit like that are usually co-opted and bought and owned because of said money. Because if you got an administration that is more influenced by money more than not, those agencies are going to follow with that. If you have someone that doesn't really care about the money and shit and actually abides by, the people and their, what they elected that person to do and shit, arguably, not that bad. I mean, variables included and everything aside and flaws and all, but it wouldn't be into a circumstance where, money rules all and then that's ultimately what, like, answers on whether, when it comes to surveillance, regulation, when it comes to taxes, all these things. And including if you're a law-abiding citizen, wink, or not. And that goes to fucking anybody. If you feel like, just because, you agree with the current administration, shit like that, that you are, potentially, like, being eyeballed and run wrong little thought or something like that, especially with, like, Flock and shit and data collecting and then selling and own it, all that shit, it's like, I mean, it doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you are politically. Like, one wrong little thought that gets the attention of someone from the FBI or anything else or some shit, don't matter. Literally won't matter what side of the spectrum you're on that one. That's a fundamental threat to everybody. They refused to let President know information of Ronald Reagan famously because he had Alzheimer's. I mean, at a certain point during his administration, like, up until way later, like, they kind of kept it a secret that he had Alzheimer's. So obviously at that point, you couldn't trust him with certain information and shit like that, while still at least keeping a presentation of being presidential and shit like that. Like, it's also arguable that Nancy Reagan, at least, especially in his second term, at least during, like, most of that term at least, she was really the one calling shots. Because she was still, like, had, like, her mind with her and shit. Like, she didn't have Alzheimer's. So it's like, arguably, they speculate that she was, like, legitimately calling the shots because there were different times where she, like, would actively be like, all right, here, I'll, talk to my husband, the president, but you got to answer me because I'm going to be keeping the information. She kind of forced her way into that, a little bit. I mean, which she arguably was a little worse, especially for very fervent, crazy anti-drug, because drug war shit, which exacerbated a lot of that Nixon started. And then, but this is also why, they are probably doing the same with Trump, by the way, because it's a similar thing going on. And yeah, they probably done that with Bush. They've done that probably with a lot of presidents. I mean, because there is like a element of the military industrial complex and the corporate powers that own a lot of this shit that yeah, it'd probably be a little preferable to keep certain things withheld. I mean, they could only do that so much. I mean, you are the fucking president of the U.S. Like, if you demand it enough, you can get it. But it's just that how much are it's more about like how willing you're willing to play ball. And honestly, I feel like they show like a hidden camera of like the Kennedy assassination or some shit where they're like, yeah, don't try anything or something. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's like when it comes to what you're talking about, they will show certain things to be like, don't try anything. This is like information that we'll never release publicly, but you get to know now. Don't say a fucking word, or it'll happen to you, kind of shit. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe not so much anymore. Maybe we've kind of moved past that to an extent, but I don't know. It's one of those things we can only speculate and assume, right?
What's up, man?
So, what time did you get home last night?
More like in the morning.
More like the morning. Oh my, yeah, because I figured you would have came back sooner than I thought, but then you were like, it was like 4, and I'm like, I just need to go to sleep. I'm like, my body's
I
dying.
fucking talking to Dre about deep shit for a while.
Mm.
Again, about relationships and stuff, and then I was asking him on his advice on stuff, and then turned into me giving him advice because he's trying to maybe get back together with his ex-wife,
Mm.
and so
Just end up being kind of back and forth. Just
yeah. It was good. It was good though.
Yeah.
But it was
But
till like 9 a.m.
fucking hell, dog.
I'm tired as fuck.
I don't blame you. Cause my body is, but my mind ain't because of last night at the concert and then working all damn day. Like, my body hates me so bad right now. Luckily, my neck is getting better, but I barely could get up out of my bed this morning. I was like, oh my, I literally have to just like get sharp pains just to
And when
get.
I got home, Michael decided to fucking try to text me some bullshit.
Oh my god.
I fucking ghosted him to my letters. Like, I basically, like,
Well, especially when you had an all nighter, at a certain point, you just don't give a fuck.
yeah, I was on a voice to text yelling match basically with him.
Damn.
And I fucking bullied the shit out of him. Like, I fucking bullied him.
Well, maybe it'll leave you alone for a bit or something.
So I blocked him again.
Heh. Probably for the better anyway, man.
Whitney does not realize how bad it is. She sees me in person, she wants to give me like some speculative advice on alcoholism and like family and stuff. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna be macho, I'm gonna listen and be vulnerable and honest. But it's like I think Michael just needs to be institutionalized at this point.
Yeah, I mean, some people.
Well, no, her ex-husband's like cousin or something was like he's like schizophrenic alcoholic and he attacked his parents if he was living with them. So then he had nowhere else to go. So they decided to take him in for like a couple months. And that just turned into like a fucking it was terrible.
Well, yeah, that's just literally bad news.
Yeah, she's like, I think he just needs to be like institutionalized. He's just gonna be disabled like his whole life. I'm like, that's my brother. Like she's trying to act like my brother isn't that bad. And I'm like, Michael is that bad. Like he really is that bad.
Well, I mean, I suppose to be fair to her, she just doesn't know him like you do, obviously, or me too. Like,
Michael's never gonna get a job. He's just gonna be a drain on the state and on his family and everybody and shit. So he needs to just.
he literally needs to be dependent, and that's.
Get a job. He doesn't want to get a job. I've never met somebody who's so afraid of like actually fixing their life.
They're just. I'd say there's people like that, when they've fallen down in that way. Some people just generally don't want to get back up. They'll be like stable enough, but that's it. Like at best, but they won't actively try to be like better about it. You know, like there are just people like that sometimes. I mean, there still needs to be at least some baseline support, you know, regardless. But yeah, I mean, at a certain point, you can only do so much to fix it, right?
The minute he starts attacking me, I'm done. And he keeps on talking forever. And that's basically been going on.
Yeah,
I'm just not
and
going
plus, you just don't need that bullshit anyway, dude.
No, I won't put up with it anymore at all. But my mom's trying to make me like get involved in it. I'm just like, no,
Nah, nah. You literally have to have a boundary. Be like, unless he's like,
my mom keeps sending me shit in the mail to give to Michael, and I'm like, I'm done with that shit. You either have him come up to Vancouver or me.
or set up a PO box for him that every so often he could go to. Like, yeah, like just you have to set a strong boundary of that. And if they don't want to like it or respect it, then they have to just be harder about it. Be like, nah, I won't even talk to you for a little bit to just let you get the hint or something. Like, I don't know what the
Me and Michael are pretty much done right now. He's gonna need to. I don't know.
Well, I mean, arguably, show us just moving forward, just keep your distance. You know, like it does. You know, hanging out every so often, sure, but he has to literally be like,
We will see. It is up to him. I will
no matter. Yeah, of course, it's up to him. But if he just wants to fall down in a pit of,
I don't have to beg him. I don't have to do shit.
no, you don't gotta do nothing besides just live your life and do what you're doing. So yeah,
Whitney is trying to like subvert her life. Love is always coming back, even when you're mad. Like that's what families do. Like, you know,
I
like,
mean, sure. I mean, I don't inherently disagree with that,
no, I
but
don't disagree either, but I'm like, oh, caveat. But my brother is
to
gonna.
me, I want to say caveat, but just on a broad premise, even outside, bro, there's a line of sand sometimes where you just have to have with family. You know, there are some family members you can still love as family, but be like, I just can't be around them. They're too this or too that, like they're too toxic or they're too politically fucking insane for me or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it's just healthy to do that. There's no like inherent obligation you have to like be with them all the fucking time or something just because you're blood related. Like,
I had a really good chat with Whitney today. Went really, really well.
yeah.
Me and her want to both get back into our French. She used to take French in high school, and I took French in college.
Ooh, Duolingo, back and forth.
No, she wants to actually take like an actual French.
Oh, like a legit French. Well, I was kind of just making a joke with Duolingo, Duolingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just making a silly joke, but no, that's cool.
No, she actually wants to do that with me.
Watch y'all just like, every so often you all just start speaking in French and shit while y'all just hanging out, and I'm sitting here like,
I know French. I still do. Like
I
can read it really, really well and write it pretty well. I can't speak it that great because I haven't had people to deal with.
yeah. I mean, so you're like semi-fluent basically.
I'm like a quarter fluent, and I'm like a half literate.
Yeah. Okay. So you're yeah. All right. That makes sense. I need to at least get to that basic level for Spanish just so I can start doing some basics at work. There's so many people, little families and shit that are like, habla español, and I'm like, oh fuck. Then I have to look back and be like, who's one of my Spanish coworkers who I got right now? Where's my Mexican coworker? I need my Mexican.
Whitney in high school actually.
I need him to translate. Help me with this.
Whitney in high school, she actually went to Paris on a school trip.
What to France?
Yeah, to Paris.
Oh, Paris. That's cool.
Yeah, and she had a friend in high school that was a Japanese exchange student
That's cool as fuck.
that she actually walked with and graduated with for graduation. And now they're still really good friends. And that Japanese exchange student lives in Paris.
Oh hell yeah, that's cool.
And then remember, I had that kind of girlfriend in high school, like the exchange student. Her name was Morgan.
She was she like Korean or Finnish or something?
No, she's French.
Oh, okay.
She's half Moroccan, half French.
Okay.
You don't remember?
No, I vaguely do. I was thinking of somebody. I was thinking of like two others or some shit because I knew we had a few exchange students.
Yeah.
We had like one or
Anyways,
two from Korea, and I think one from like Finland or Sweden or something, and then one or two from other places, and then France
so Morgan lives in Marseille now.
or Marseille.
Marseille, yeah, right there on the Mediterranean. So when I was talking to Whitney, I was like,
That's cool.
hey, if we took a trip to France, we'd already have friends and a place to stay and have
That'd
tour
be
guides.
cheaper.
A
Yeah,
lot cheaper, and then you have somebody help you navigate.
and
around
also
town.
you're reconnecting with an old friend you haven't met in a long
Yep,
time.
and she gets to reconnect with her old friend.
Yep,
So that'd be cool.
wins all around.
Yeah. And then I was just like, we started talking more about travel. I was like, I could take her to Greece to meet my Greek family. Yeah.
Are you actually connected with any of them?
They don't know who I am. I know who they are.
Well,
But
connect with them.
Well, like
Reach out.
my Uncle John, my cousin Trevor, Randy, Hartman.
Well, you don't have to go for all the lists, but
They all are really close with them.
well,
So-
reach out or something. I don't know.
They will accept me. They know I'm part of the Anderson family.
Well, I
don't have
I'm
their
not saying they
info.
wouldn't, but why
I'll have
not?
their info. I will when I'm planning on going out there.
Well, why not do it now? It'd be like,
Because I have a lot of other shit.
well,
I-
need a
why don't you go
pasta.
meet your brother that you never met before in California? How about that? Why have you done that? Oh, yeah, priority stuff. One thing I said.
No,
Well,
not
why-
not
why-
like a
why?
hold
Because
on,
it's a
not
fat list of
inherently.
shit,
No,
dog.
not me. Just message them. That takes like, what's up?
I don't have the number. Same thing with my brother. I've never even talked to my brother, Jacob. Wouldn't you think that would come first? Come on now. Why? Because
I'm not saying
trying to survive out here. Like,
I'm.
why don't you go
I
out to
get
Montana right this second? Go do that right now. Why?
Because I already have that planned out. Like,
Well, why? Why can't you right now? Whoa. Why don't you talk to them right this second? Reach out. What's it about? Come on, dog.
dude, it doesn't. It literally doesn't have to be now. Like, goddamn, like you said, or like you know, do it immediately, bro. Like, I mean, I'm not saying like immediately. Like, damn.
Reasons. Fucking, anyways, but when I get my nursing program done, I just realized I'll be able to travel like all the time. Because I'll be making big money, and then I'll have 4 days off a week, every week.
Yeah.
Plus vacation time, paid time off.
All that.
I'll be able to like actually travel a lot. So that'll be cool. I'm just like, all right, you're gonna be my adventure buddy, Whitney.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I was like, we'll be an adventure. I said, so she kept fucking up with autocorrect with her phone all day. It was getting pretty funny. She said,
That's why I just turn it off at certain points because
well, I just use voice to text because it usually gets it way more on point than typing.
I don't know what it is, but it never does for me. So I hate that. And honestly, it strangely hurts me, especially when it's like fucking shit. Like when there's like a swear, it literally just will never. It senses it always.
Oh yeah,
And
it does. It does do that.
There's
with
so
it.
many little things about it that does really annoy me. And also my mom does it, and half of her text messages are just like incoherent. And I'm like, I could read it enough to get what she's trying to say, but I have to be like, can you elaborate what you're trying to mean with this? Like, please, like, so I can totally understand and not just assume. I'm like, mama.
Hey, so this is funny. So she was trying to talk to me about my brother and stuff. La-di-da. We'll all piss each other off, blah, 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 blah.
Well,
Then she says this.
you mentioned that from earlier,
Yeah. Then she says this. IJ penis hard with Michael right now. But if he's
IJPP, what? What?
if he's a creature of habit, he'll go through another good period soon too. And then she starts laughing. She's like, "What the fuck, autocorrect?" And then she's like, "I guess I typed the word penis a lot because my autocorrect just put that in there."
Wow.
And then I was like, "Autocorrect is crazy. Wow." She's just like, "I'm dying." I said,
Damn.
I definitely penis hard with my brother though. I penis hard, real hard.
I penis hard though.
I'm like, I'm gonna make this an inside joke now.
When you just get pissed off, you're actually penised on.
No, just penis hard, bro.
Penis
I'm
hard,
not
bro.
pissed off. I'm
A penis hard. Yeah.
Penis hard, bro. And then I'm like, me and my brother, we really penis hard. We really butt heads. really butt heads hard.
Oh my god.
Winnie
Diabolical.
and me are just literally like going back and forth about it now. Super funny.
Who shot him now? It's a roommate. He said 3 bongs, 5 minutes, he's done. No, I just smoked one after just talking with him for a bit. Huh?
You do chain smoke the fucking loop like no one else has ever. Like, no one has.
I was really just sitting on that for a while, just talking and hanging. But also, I'm dealing with this fucking...
So instead of voice to text, I actually was trying to text this. I was like, we be adventure tram together. Instead of team, autocorrect did tram. Instead of team is, so we're adventure tram. We're adventure.
Oh my god.
Fucking just goof. The autocorrect today was wild, bro.
Damn. Nice trailer. I didn't realize the trailer can be 2 stories up. How's that possible? Let's see if I can try to pop my neck a bit. Ah. Oh. Kinda. Ah, no. Ah. Also, I don't think they have popcorn. Yeah, this is like a apartment's been around for like, I don't know, fuck knows how long. And yeah, there's like literally popcorn soon, which also is like the most redundant thing ever. It doesn't really do anything. Actually, sometimes it makes it more difficult to try to put soundproofing up and shit if you want to try to put some on the ceiling because of its rigidness. That's why some people, especially when they renovate places like this, they'll literally just like take a scraper and then just like with a big bag under it and then just like just scrape that shit off. Because it literally doesn't do anything. It's like a texture thing, I guess, but it was a very like 90s, early 2000s like trend for a while. Because even my old house had that shit and way more popcorny than that. This is actually pretty tame popcorn ceiling, honestly. I also love how there's this weird little like what looks to be an attic space, but you literally can't get inside. When we first moved in, we tried to poke that open, and it's literally just like sealed. I have no idea like what the fuck is up there, if anything at all. I'm still like, oops. I am still weirdly half tempted to like see if I can like carefully like open it just enough, you know, to where it's not fucked up or nothing, and then I can just re-glue it back. You know what I mean? Like with some wood glue, so it looks like nothing happened. But I'm also kind of like, I mean, what would be up there? You know what I mean? My curious bean ass is like too curious about that. I always look at that being like, what's in there? What are they building in there? What's he building in there? We have a right to know. What's rent like? Well, it's collectively split between us, and outside of utilities, that's $700. But
$725.
well, yeah, actually, yeah, but plus utility. Yeah, okay, so a little bit more than that. So but yeah, but plus utilities is more about like 800 plus.
For a quick walk. Yeah, that's probably good. That's really hard. My body is. I feel like I might be getting sick, or maybe I'm just super hungover still.
Well, you did have practically an all-nighter last night, so that's probably it. Yeah, I'd probably just take like a little supplement or two afterwards and just chill, just to make sure, you know. Maybe get some electrolytes or something. Have something like that on my wall. Nice. What the hell? Oh. He goes down there. I mean, I got this, but this actually is a thing. This is this is all that. So I guess I got that cool part of my room where I have that thing. So if I wanted to, I could fuck with people.
work tomorrow?
Yeah, I do.
How do you work?
5, I think. It's either 4 or 5. I'm pretty sure it's 5.
Can you get up with me like an hour or two before you normally do and clean up the house? It's pretty bad again.
Yeah, no worries. I mean,
I'm not doing it right now.
I'm
crashing.
Yeah, like I don't necessarily blame you. I can at least do maybe the dishes real quick before I crash out, you know. But no worries. I could probably at least do some basic shit, you know, like the dishes or something.
Between the two of us, it'd only be like a half hour.
Yeah, won't be a big deal.
I'd rather do it in case we do want to go to the ocean Monday. I'd rather not have like the house crashed and then we come back to the ocean and then
Yeah, I feel you.
dead as fuck and then not want to fucking do it.
Right, no shit. I don't blame you. Yeah.
Yeah. So, which I'm still trying to get a response from Harley and Tyler if they wanted to come.
Yeah, I did see Hard pop on my stream for a sec, but I didn't get a chance to say anything to him because I was gonna ask him that. But I'll just DM him. I'll just send him my Telegram.
I feel like he just doesn't hang out with anyone unless Stefan. It's like a Stefan instigated thing with him.
Well, I could probably convince him.
We'll see.
You know me. You know how him and I are sometimes. I could convince him, probably. Show CR, please, bro. I don't. Okay, for one, I don't own an AR, and for two, I would literally be permanently banned on YouTube if I did that, and for three, I own an AK. The left arm of the free world. You know what to say about the FAL, right? It's the right arm of the free world. Well, the AK is the left arm of the free world. So. I mean, I can show a mag. I mean, I got my magazines and stuff. I just don't have them here right now. I have them stored somewhere else at the moment. I mean, eventually I'm going to get them back here, but I just haven't hit my brother up about it because I have it stored at his house for in the meantime. Just climb in the window. Unless they got a ladder, which that would be the first thing I would fucking notice, nothing's happening, dude. This only works if I'm on a single story, like, floor or something, dude. I'm on a second floor. No one's got magic powers to just magically be there silently like a ninja. I would hear anything happening back there.
Apparently, black people are making ninja now. They're saying that nobody can say the word. I was like, what the fuck? Really?
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, apparently it's like theirs now.
I sort of got... Nah, I don't believe... Dude, that sounds like some online Twitter discourse bullshit, and that...
I was at fucking work, and my manager brought it up, and then like 3 or 4 people at work were like, yeah, that's actually true. I'm like, oh, okay.
But so what if I say I'm sneaking up like a ninja? Because a lot of my coworkers be like, "Oh fuck, I didn't see you there," because I'm kind of quiet as fuck, like a ninja. It's like what? So I literally have never heard that before. It literally sounds like online discourse bullshit. I don't know. I've heard a lot of different complex back and forths about that because I've heard a lot of different, like...
Anyways, I'm gonna take them on a walk.
No worries. I don't know. I've heard different things, so... I feel like online discourse bullshit just kind of gets in the way of certain things because I've literally never heard of that before. How is Ninja, like... That I just... So what? Like, if we're talking about, like, an action film... You know, about, like, Japanese, like, shinobi ninjas or something, then it's like, what, we can't say the ninja part or anything? Like, Hall? It's just kind of, that's, we gotta stop, you know what I mean? Like, keep the core foundations of when it comes to these words, right? When it comes to slurs, like, I get it. Let's keep that core foundation shit, fine. Totally okay. But can we not, like, do this extra shit, please? Like, it's starting, this isn't 2016. There's bigger fish to fry than whether, like, you know, sometimes people substitute ninja for that word. And also, what about neighbor? Like, a lot of people substitute neighbor for that word as well. Like, what? You can't say that now? Like, I mean, it's kind of the same principle, in my opinion. It's like, it's getting a little ridiculous. There's a reason why, like, for example, if someone's like singing lyrics of like a song and it has that word in it and they don't want to sing it, what are they going to say? Neighbor, usually, or maybe ninja, or just maybe just not say it at all, just blanket, be like, or maybe just make a noise or something where it's like, oh, blah, 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 whatever the fuck. I don't know. Like, it, to me, like, it's a little ridiculous when it comes to trying to also do the policing of, substitutions and when it comes to contextual situations. Because I'm not like throwing ninja out, referring to like black folk at all. Like, I get it that there are people that do. I will even occasionally be like, my ninja. So maybe I guess I mean, it's like, I can get it, but it's not that big of a fucking deal. It's not like the core root word or anything. We're not using that. That's not what's happening. No one's it's like, bruh, like, I understand. And even our neighbor next door, like, even mentioned it once, like, come on. I was like, no, and I even had to be like, no, it's like, I don't want to use that word because I'd rather, substitute when it comes to like songs or other stuff, or even contextual, like even reading quotes of somebody, because that word, even to me, is uncomfortable. I don't, it's like, I get that. That's why I think, trying to at least use another word, to take its place, to at least neuter that while still understanding the context, I think it's okay. But obviously, it depends on how people use it at the end of the day. And this is where I think, I can probably get the conversation because to me, as a queer person, I personally don't have the problem with the F slur, but and I honestly will use it even for myself. I'll say that even to myself. Be like, oh, I'm a flaming fire because yeah, I am. But at the same time, I get why that is a little bit of a sting to people. Like I'll say for myself, and it's for me personally, it's just me. But I won't, or at least try to refrain from using that to other people and shit because I get that. Plus, like, despite whatever, like, 90s era terminology about, like, calling someone a fucking moron or retard or whatever, like, even me growing up, like, faggot was pretty much another colloquial for that shit. It's basically another word for being like, oh, you're a retard or you're a fucking moron or you're stupid or this and that or whatever. It was pretty much like a variable of that, essentially. I mean, the queer part of it didn't really come into play unless you were just called a fucking gay, basically. Or at least those put together. But, point being, though, like, I do see the broader value of, like, trying to retain those words to an extent, but also substituting them, especially when they are more appropriate for those situations. But we can't be, like, so policey about shit where you can't even, like, try to substitute stuff and we have to constantly be like, N word, F word, oh, this slur, and that's it. And we just like, it's like, come on. Like, we can substitute stuff. We can even contextually maybe understand we're not offensively saying this fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like, whatever the fuck. To me, I just, and I'm always been very resistant about language police shit, even as a leftist, because it really is kind of annoying. Like, I mean, there's plenty of quotes, like even from George Walsh, for example, from back in the 60s when it came to the Southern strategy, to even bring up a very poignant, political variable example on this one, where he mentioned as a quote, yeah, you can't go around saying, the N word over and over again, but he never said it like that. He just said the full fucking word. He's like, yeah, as a politician now, you can't go and saying, you know, neighbor, like 3 times over, however many times said it. Now you have to, use other terms like, broadly like the Democrats and maybe like, the darker side of town and other terminology and shit like that. I mean, I'm not saying this exact quote, but I mean, if you go read his quote about his whole like the godfather of the Southern strategy, like he is pretty fucking fervent about like how he believes and feels about shit because he was an utter fucking racist piece of shit. And I think even a Klansman too, if I remember. You know, but also was a notable politician for his time. I even think he ran for president once during the '60s, based off that Southern strategy, and in part because of him, that's where the party switch came into play, which a lot of people don't really remember that much or talk about. Especially in my experience, conservatives, because they always talk about that shit. I'm just like, yeah, because have you never heard about the Dixiecrats? Democratic Party was a lot more of a unironic kind of a Big Ten party because it was literally like two factions on a Big Ten. You had the Southern Dixiecrats, and then you had like a lot of Northern Democrats, like FDR types and shit. The people like George Wallace pretty much solidified it, broke that divide. It then from there, a lot of those Dixiecrats became Republicans because at that point the Republicans were doing well in the South and also still held and harbored some of these older traditional ideas and values that were going on at the time as well, like Christian values, and even not, despite its roots of the party not being, so anti-racist as much anymore and shit like that when it came to abolition of slavery and stuff like that. Despite making it like their main point that they would like push all the fucking time. But it's like, don't you know about the history of the Republican Party, if its actual roots of how it started? Because it literally was a pro-labor / like an abolitionist, slavery party, because a lot of the early Republicans at that fucking time were legitimately were like labor union leftist types. Not all of them, but some of them were a part of that. Even before like labor leftism was even really a thing. I mean, why do you think Marx and Lincoln had some letters written to each other at one point? Because Marx kind of respected like Lincoln a little bit, and Lincoln was like, "Oh, you seem like an interesting fellow. I like you too." They had a few writings back and forth. Like they knew each other to a certain degree, or at least knew of each other and written to each other at least a few times. Because Marx also, with Frederick Douglass, also was a adamant advocate and a supporter of him as well, and wrote a lot more to him too. And Frederick Douglass was pretty much like one of the first Marxists in the U.S. and also was a massive slave abolitionist too, because he liked and agreed with a lot of what Marx said as well. Because he was, they wrote to each other a lot. And me as a lefty, you wonder why I get so disgusted of how shit end up being. Because it's like, ugh. Where are the fucking roots of that shit anymore? Outside of the DSA, I guess, at this point. Dude, I'm not even gonna read that comment out loud. I'm just doing that. It's fucking lame. Ugh. Yeah, I did like a funny high school thing or something. Am I cool, bro? Good job, don't complain. I literally got off work, dog. I'm going to work again tomorrow because it's called like working late night shifts, you dumb fuck. And what? Let's say I didn't have a job. I still have a right to complain. I live in the fucking country that has a lot of the history I was just fucking talking about. Dumb fuck. I live in the very fucking country I'm talking about. Yeah, I think it's fucking important to discuss that shit. With or without a job. I'm so lazy. Dude, I could have called out today because my fucking, like neck is killing me from a fucking metal show, which strangely, how was I able to afford that if I somehow don't have a jib? Still don't care, then get the fuck out of here. Why are you even talking then, you dumb fuck? Why are you talking? Here, let me just like say my dumb fuck retarded opinion, you know, because I obviously don't care. Well, if you don't care, then. But if you care, you know, a lot, actually, then make a sock account and come back. But if you really don't, then do us a favor and fuck off. Besides, as far as I'm concerned, this also will be a part-time job too. I'm pretty sure, like, I'm either damn near or like almost at, you know, the monetization qualification for the watch hours I need. Because last time I checked, it was like less than 900, and I know for a fact it's less now. So, I'm thinking sometime during the weekend, especially if I got that ocean trip, you know, potentially for a day trip with that. Ooh. We might have a fun celebratory stream. I will say it might still take time for YouTube to do its thing once I, you know, put all that bullshit in. But it'll be a fun little chapter. I will say that much. And I think we're going to have a lot more fun and good shit and stuff going. I tell you what. If anything, especially if I can at least potentially even like switch up my schedule of my work where it's more adaptable, you know, with what I do, not just with this, but just with life in general. I think, you know, there's some good opportunities afoot. Big Kick Channel 2. I already have one. I tried streaming there once via mobile, like, cause the only way I could do it was through Streamlabs, but it literally refused to. It would crash every time when I would try to, you know, like react to something. I could like play background shit and all that, but I couldn't like actually do what I wanted to do over there. So I was like, all right, until I can, you know, I'm just gonna let that Kick Channel just sit there, you know, just do its thing, and eventually we'll get back into that and do that as well. And at some point we'll even co-stream on YouTube and there as well. And eventually maybe even have a Kick exclusives where maybe I'll see about how their like movie copyright shit is and maybe with certain music. So maybe we can react, you know, and I can maybe upload those as videos on YouTube, but at least, you know, have a full live reaction to like a movie commentary or like, you know, reacting to an album or something, and you know, some shit like that, or maybe a song or something, because I know that with YouTube they're a little bit more stingy with that, especially with like a live stream. So I do think, you know, at some point, or maybe even with more specific content where I know I might be a little bit more edgy, I know Kick will be a lot more chill with that. So there is that too. Where I could edit that down and then upload it to YouTube, but then just like censor certain parts, or maybe have it as a clip, and then be like, if you want to see the full thing, go to my Kick. You can see some of the more extra content, you know, over there, including all sorts of other reacts that we can only limit it, you know, here on YouTube. So follow me there. I mean, because I would like to at least kind of do that shit too. And yes, I also know that Kick is a lot easier to get monetized there as well. So if I can get that going too, that's even better. I will say this much. In between, like, you know, there's at least 3 specific trips I'm planning now. 2 of them are probably going to be, like, combined into one, depending on the dates. And then, or maybe it's going to be one or the other. I really don't fucking know. And then a trip to Montana to go see my niece and my sister, because I haven't seen my sister in a long time, and I haven't seen my niece ever because she's a little thing. But I've seen plenty of pictures and videos of her. She's already like, you know, being an irascible, sassy little fuck, and I'm just like, oh shit. She looks and sounds awesome, and I love my sister for raising her right and doing some good by her because she's already like headbanging to different music and shit too. Because my sister, is like hell into like music like I am, with metal and shit like that. I'm just like, yes. It's like, man, as an unk, how am I gonna be like the cool unk when her parents are already cool as fuck? You know what I mean? It's like, god damn it, that's gonna be an issue. I want to be the cool unk. I could still be that way, but I gotta figure that one out when it's I don't know, like uh in a different way, like the more like hippie punk unk versus like the hardcore metal, type or whatever. There's also her husband is in a band too, so there's that. I don't know if that's still active or not anymore. To be honest, I just know that he did have one. At least his band played at the wedding, that they had, which also is fucking amazing. Tell me a wedding, that has a mosh pit. I'll wait because my sister's wedding had a mosh pit, and I was one of the people in that mosh pit. Even though it was like the tiniest mosh pit I was also ever in my life, it was literally like at maximum like 5 people. On average, it was more like 3 or 2. But it was actually pretty fucking awesome though. I mean, tell me a fucking wedding that has a mosh pit. I'll wait because I just wish I had recordings or something because, dude, that was such an awesome little moment. Smoked my first like Cuban cigar. Yeah, had my first drink too because they were like, "What? Did you not tap into any of those like cakes over there?" I'm like, "No," and they're like, "Fucking get one." I was like, "You're already chiefing on that cigar with us anyway. We're passing that around. Like, come on." And they're like, they literally like encouraged me. I was like, "Okay." I tasted it. I was like, "What is this?" And they're like, "I think it's like PBR or something." I was like, "Oh God." I just kept drinking. I was like, "Okay." I mean, it was all right, but I was like, interesting. I wouldn't really call it a full drink because I never finished it. I only like had it halfway, and I just set it down and just did my own thing later because I was kind of like, ugh, that didn't really feel good at all. I mean, to be fair, I guess my first real drink was probably like during a New Year's, like when I was like 16, because my mom gave me, a little thing of champagne, and it actually was kind of sweet and tasty, and I was like, this is nice. And she's like, you will have the one, and you're only allowed to have it once New Year's hits. And then I did, and I was like, this kind of tasty, and I kind of looked around, I was like, no one's paying attention. Stuck the bottle, put more in there, and I had another one. I think it was 2014 or something like that. I was still in high school when that happened. And I was like, nice. Went to bed after that, feeling kind of nice a little bit. And I was like, cool. I think I played some video game a little bit, before I did, because I was chilling on my bed, playing a little something, and just chilling after that. So, it's good New Year's. I mean, I will say it didn't do anything to me. It just kind of made it. Literally was like basically the equivalent of just like, oh, slight different feeling. Okay, I can kind of see it a little bit. I understand why the adults like this a little bit. And now, like in true PNW fashion, it's just a regular thing. I will say, like, between the Midwest and, like, the Pacific Northwest, it really feels like out of all of the country, like, those are the two regions that definitely have, like, a very genuine, like, beer culture. Yeah, that's still a thing. Even amongst the youth to an extent, because, like, I know there's, like, been a lot of data and a lot of statistics lately about, like, how alcohol consumption and, like, even bars and a lot of places have been struggling more than ever. But it feels like at least around here, that isn't really the case. It feels like, broadly the PNW and even the Midwest to an extent, I feel like, are kind of like exemptions to this rule. Maybe like a lot of places, in different parts of the country, that's the case, but, or even globally too, but I don't know. I mean, maybe not so globally. I would think a lot of statistics are usually based in the U.S. specifically because like there's places in Europe where it's like it's normal for like kids after high school when they're like 16 or 17, depending on what country they're in, to get go to the bar after homework and shit with their friends or whatever the fuck because they're legally able to. Because the drinking age is like in some places it's like 16, it's 15, it's like 18, 17. Like some places in Europe have like low drinking ages.
Germany.
Well, I know. Well, what's funny is that in Belgium and the Netherlands, their drinking age minimum is literally 1 year apart. The Netherlands have it at 15. The Belgium have it at 16. So some of those border towns.
Wait. Like you can just like any kind of drinking because in Germany you can drink at home with family at 15. You can't publicly. Be
Well, it varies from country to country, from my understand. But
that's what I'm saying.
I know, but from my I know, like, yeah, but from what I understand, you can go to bars and not get like liquor, but you can get like a beer, yeah, like or a pint with your friends or whatever. Like, I mean, it's a little bit more restricted at that age, but it's also not really uncommon for a lot of like I think the Dutch to go over to Belgium if they're on like those border towns or some of those towns where there's like two towns like right there.
Yeah.
And there's even some towns in Belgium and the Netherlands where they literally are like one town, but they're like weirdly like separate because of like they're like right on that border. Like there's actually even some people's homes where the border goes in between their house and shit like that.
That's cool.
It is kind of cool, but it's a little interesting. But that's why sometimes because of the legal age drinking difference when it comes to the bars, a lot of the Dutch will go over to Belgium because it's like 1 year younger for them. They'll go over there to their bars and their IDs work or are valid there too, especially if a EU European Union one. So it's like, yeah, like for all intents and purposes, a lot of kids will literally just do that because it's just like a 5 minute walk with their friends, and shit to go over there, and they already have like a few friends, on that side of town anyway. So fuck it.
That's pretty cool. I gathered more feathers.
What?
I gathered more feathers.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I saw a few on my walk. I just was like so done, and I didn't want to like bend down with my shit. And I was just like, all right, fuck it. It's not like I won't find more.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we present those to Whitney. She's just gonna be like, "Oh, great! I'm gonna make a new art."
Well,
piece
let's
of
at
this."
least keep a couple because I want to at least add back to my hat.
Well, you just grab some for you. That pile that's there, that's for Whitney at this point.
Well, I will say if I find like scrub jays or other really unique feathers,
That's fine. Don't care.
or even like barn owl feathers, because every so
Whatever
often.
you feel like donating to the pile, that's on you to donate.
Well, we needed something to collect the pile with, though. We need like a cool little thing.
Not really. You need to wash all of them because they're bird. You gotta wash them, and then put them in a.
Well,
thing
there's a
after
very
that.
particular way to do it to keep it preserved, though. By the way, like I forgot what it was because I haven't really collected a mini in a while. But there is a technique to keep the oils and stuff preserved on the feather to kind of keep it longer lasting. And a part of it is also keeping your oils and trying to touch it as little as possible. What the fuck? Why is... Oh my god, my headphone is somehow playing music instead of the speaker. I was wondering why it got so quiet. What the fuck? There we go. Jesus. I was like, why is it so quiet all of a sudden? I've seen the new Texas weed laws. Did they update them recently? Because I know they had medical, and as far as I know, I think that's still the case. But their medical was really restricted, where I was like, even for me, if I, qualify for medical, which I could in Texas, it's just like, it was ass. I was like, it literally wouldn't even be worth it. I'd rather just like get a guy that is getting it from like a legal state like Oklahoma or something. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, nah, fam, fuck that, dude. The rec here is shit, or not the rec, but the medical. Like because there was one point where me and my brother, or at least my brother mainly, was like, yo, Mom asked if we should move to Texas, and I'm like, you can do that. I'm not. I'm absolutely, willing to visit you and hang out and family. Like, I'm not going to be detached from there. Like, despite my politics and this and that and how much I detest Texas, to be fucking frank, I'm not going to be against visiting there. You know what I mean? Like, I'll visit family there. Like, I don't care. That's fine. But I'm not living there. I refuse to live there. But I got no problem taking a month off and hanging out with my family for a month or 2 weeks or however long I can at least afford it, right? Like, I don't, I won't spend time with my family there as long as it takes or whatever, right? Like, I don't care. But I'm not living there though. Like I said, and depending how long I am there for, I want at least a little baby hookup just to at least get something. And I know I could probably find, even a family friend or something. You know what I mean? Because I know for a fact there are some family members that do smoke a little bit. They just kind of keep on the DL, and I'm like, okay, well.
I almost got fucked. I got pulled over by a cop. They let me go.
Wait, why?
So I fucking was trying to make it back to the store so I could get the fuck off. And I was trying to get back quick. And I was about to go through like a yellow light that was going to turn red.
But it turned red last second.
And then I seen the cop right there.
You slow down.
And I fucking hammered on the brakes. But my car skidded through the crosswalk and out into the intersection slightly. And I was just like, oh, I'm fucked. And I just pulled over, put my caution lights, and just waited for him. I was like, I already know he's going to come.
And he did.
And he did. And then he's like, what's up, man? Like,
you okay?
And I'm like, dude, I'm just a Domino's delivery driver. We've been busy as fuck today. I'm just trying to get home. That was my last delivery. We're just being pushed hard to get this shit done. I'm sorry. Like, fucking, I was on my phone trying to clear some shit.
And I legitimately thought that I could make that. I didn't.
And then I like 5 seconds decided to brake and my car skid. And he was like, I'm not going to ID you or anything. He's like, but like, I'm more just trying to make sure you're all good because the way you skidded, thought maybe you might have like hurt your head or something.
Oh, so he was just actually kind of looking you.
Yeah, he was an Asian cop.
He was just looking out for you, basically, being like, all right, Oh, he's literally doing what a cop ought to do.
Yeah.
Protect and serve the community.
He's like, his thing was like, make sure you're like paying attention a little more with like, because he's like, I could tell you were like doing something with your phone. And I was like, I was, but it had to do with my delivery stuff. Because what happened is my app had been glitching the whole time, so my delivery had never. It
sounds like that happens more often than it should.
It glitched, and then I was fucking with it, and I finally got it to work, and then I cleared it, and then I was like, oh shit, okay, I gotta go through this light, and then I looked up, saw a cop to the left, I was like, oh fuck.
And that just, because that would have probably been a different thing.
I think actually, if I would have gone through the light, he would have actually pulled me over. The fact that I tried to stop and respected that he was a cop.
And then you kind of noticed that, and you just kind of pulled it for a sec, and then he checked on you and just be like, you're good, right?
Then he noticed also, he's like, okay, this guy does this for a job.
Well, I think, even if he did pull you over, I think he probably would have done the same thing because...
That way, I literally just put my caution lights on, pulled over into like a parking lot, and just waited there for him.
I think
he was like, okay, this guy has respect. He's not a problem.
Well, not just that, but I think he probably did legitimately think like, oh, did he hurt himself? Like, here, let me just make sure. Like,
I braced it. I was on that wheel. I was like,
well, yeah, you were like, oh hell, yeah, like, yeah.
But my car did skid. It went, and it went like a little
spooky, little spook.
No, the car would have been fucked probably. Well, not fucked. It would have been worse on my car if it wasn't for the fact that I had brand new tires.
Oh, yeah, you did, because you did get new tires on it.
Yeah, they handled it.
Yeah.
New tires.
Well, hey, put some of that good new tire to use.
Good
shit.
Scary. That was a moment.
Yeah, sounded like it.
I just saved probably like $300-400.
I mean, let's say that you did go through that, even if it was the last second red.
I feel like he would have pulled me over, but then he would have been like, warning, bro. Like, no, you're doing
a verbal warning, being like, look, I get, I understand you got your rush.
I think what he's looking for is a drunk driver, because Saturday night, it's 1 a.m. And he's like, this guy's sober as a gopher. and he's doing this for work.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I think.
I'm not the one he's looking for.
And also, you had that Domino's thing on top of your car at that point.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
But
Well,
I had my uniform on.
Oh well, that would have helped, So I think it would have been okay regardless. But weirdly enough, Brayson be like, "Oh shit," and stop, and probably did make it better though.
Because
It guaranteed
trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And then after I didn't quite do the right thing, I put my caution lights on, pulled into a.
Which is also the right
and
thing.
Just waited for him.
And not just that, but also just kind of check yourself for a sec, because let's say that cop wasn't there, that's still a better option to be like, okay,
yeah, well,
we're fine.
I didn't need
Maybe I should check my tires really quick or something. Little things like that, right? Like, it's probably not a bad thing in general to just do that after, like, oh, fuck, whoa, that was a little spooky.
It was an okay day. It wasn't a bad day. I did have 5 non-tips in a row, and all of them were black people. Just gonna say that. Sorry, chat, but this is becoming a problem. And that was rough. That was a rough, like 2-3 hours.
I've had
I bounced back.
I've had coworkers talk about that before, but also, we have a new shift lead that just moved from Mississippi, and he's heard about that sometimes, and he's like, "What the fuck? What?"
I know you're telling me, but $85.
Oh no, he's a new guy. He just found out about some of that, and he's kind of like a little like, "What?" I always said because like that is an unacceptable kind of thing.
An $85 order, and you don't give me nothing. But you paid $6 for the delivery fee that goes to the corporation, but you won't give me shit. I think it's bullshit. They'll give
that
money.
Is bullshit.
These motherfuckers will give money to a corporation for delivery, but they won't give me anything.
I hate to say, but I guarantee it because they think, oh, that fee goes to the driver or something.
It literally says on the boxes. It literally says on all the Domino's boxes.
It doesn't.
The delivery fee is not.
But people are too dumb and probably don't notice or read that or care or whatever. Yeah, that's just in general. People are just too stupid. It says it on the
receipts too, on the top and the bottom.
And people don't. Yeah, and people don't read or give a fuck. Like even when I'm at work, it's like, "Do you want a receipt?" And they'll be like, "Yeah," and they'll like read it, and be like, "Was this what I ordered?" I'm like, "That's what you exactly said. Yes." I'd be like, "Do you want me to change it? If you, I can. I mean, I could do that. I mean, we haven't quite started it yet because you just walked up after a minute or two."
I will say one of them kind of hooked me up by accident because we had already made their food, and then they canceled part of their order because they're like, "Oh, I just realized I only have $20 bill. I don't have enough for like the $23 or $24 that the total order was."
Yeah.
So they canceled the wings. So I got to just eat
free wings.
I just got to have free wings. So
okay, that is actually kind of
a hookup.
So they're like, "Hey, I'll refund the wings, and then you can keep the change with everything else."
No. This is before we left the store. This is as it's in the oven. It's already in the oven. So.
Oh, so they called back up and realized.
I pulled the fucking wings out the oven, and it was my delivery, and I was just like, "I'm taking these. We can buy them."
What wings were they? Just
They
barbecue
were just
wings?
plain wings, and then I sauced them the way I wanted. What I do is I like to take garlic parm sauce and then add a little hot buffalo on there.
Ooh, dude. Oh, even my coworkers were mentioning about how I doctor up my sandwiches. Sometimes they're like, "You make a fucking fine looking sandwich." I'm like, "Goddamn right."
By the way, I got more pizza that I made. I got 2 pizzas that I made.
Ooh, hell yeah! I got one more sandwich I made up before we closed up, and
all right, garlic parm, bacon, extra cheese. Banana peppers on one of them. One of them's got kind of like a little mix of everything on it too.
Okay.
But yeah, it's all garlic parm with fuck ton cheese.
All right, okay. I might fucks with that.
The banana peppers are the shit,
I mean, I will say they're not my favorite pepper as top. I prefer jalapeno personally, but
banana pepper with bacon hits, man. I'm telling you.
Same jalapeno too. I mean, I
like jalapeno, bro, but it makes because my IBS, bro. Next day I have fiber.
I will say, like the fiber, it's not the fieriness. Like I don't really get it from that. It's more of the fiber in it that helps like solidify things. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like ooh.
I mean, not that much fiber in them.
Not that much, but I don't know what it does, but it helps kind of reset my.
Nuts, really, that's where you get a lot of fiber. Nuts and like carrots.
Oh well. Well, I get carrots from my work too. I like to snack on them every so often. When it's slow as hell, I'll just like grab like a veggie or two and then like a single boneless wing or something and just snack on that for really quick. I'll do that every so often to graze.
It's a great.
Dude, my old boss back at Safeway, my first one, the store director back then, he literally was like, look, I don't mind y'all grazing at work, but you can't be like snacking so hard. I'm like, grazing? And at the time, we roasted them being like grazing like we're cattle or something. We can graze and like eat a little grass, but we can't like feed it in the trough and snack at the trough. It's like, excuse me, motherfucker. It's like the way he described it was a little diabolical. No, I know it is. It's the way he described it. I know, I get that. It's the way he described it, though. That was the thing. I was kind of like the way you literally described this whole situation made it sound like we're like cattle or something. Because he also wanted me to relay the info to everyone else, and I was like, what? Like you want this to like make sure it's a one-time thing you're saying to somebody, and it's my ass, and the way you said it, it just made it worse. Because I'm going to literally tell people.
Bro, did you leave my door open somehow?
No, it was already open.
My door. They're opening my door. He got into shit in my room. Now it's just no. What? Dude, he always opened it out. I swear to God, you know sometimes he lets me open the doors. I swear to God, I've seen him try before. Remember? You get down there on the side. I mean, that door is brand new sheets. That's all. When I got home, it was already. Hey. You didn't have jalapeno in it, too.
Oh, they're gonna have some 5 or 6. They're both 5 in there. Oh my god. Diabolical. Those damn dogs, man. Those irascible dogs. What the fuck? That door was open when I got home, and that's why I was like, what the fuck? I thought, like, there would never be... A lot of times I come home, that door's open, actually, so, and there's usually no issues, so I just assumed nothing was a problem. Yeah, actually, hold up. Why my door just what's up? Oh, that's why. Yeah, well, Vito starts and Jazz like, well, this is fun. Damn.
I was hoping to not have to do laundry and before Whitney came again. Like, because my blankets and my pillowcase, everything was clean.
Well, it looks like the pillows weren't really fucked with. It just looks like the sheets.
I know, I'm going to have to redo the sheet, which is enough to actually have to do laundry again.
God damn it.
It's fine. I have blankets in the front room in that box that need to be.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Very bad dog. That's some bullshit.
Should I just, like, if I find that door open when I come home from work, just do a quick inspection in your room or something? Because, just in case. Because,
yeah, I mean.
Because, I mean, this isn't the first time this has happened, but it's not, like, consecutive.
They don't try to go in your room to steal shit.
Well, because I close it every time. Before I leave for work.
Is it because it's like a left hand versus a right hand?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I always make sure my door's closed before I leave. I always just like bloop, and
you know
then
what I'm saying though? Like, because it would be like this versus.
Well, the thing is, you can open it up either way.
No, the door handle.
Just at the angle.
No, he would put his hand on here and have to use left hand, whereas over here,
Maybe
Left
it's
hand, right hand.
well, maybe, I don't know. I really don't know, bro.
Got a dominant foot that is more like grippy than the other. I could see that. I could see he has a foot that's more grippy than the other. It's got more dexterity in one of them.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna shut off for a little bit and then I'm gonna take a shower. So I got swamp ass.
damn.
It happens when you're hungover.
Oh, I know.
You get all the fucking toxic shit farts.
Oh, God.
Burn your fucking asshole.
I hate that. The spice hole.
Yeah.
Spice hole.
IBS is not kind with that shit.
It's monk shit, I tell you what. Under a gram in Texas, 6 months to 2 years, and over 400 is up to life. Yeah, fuck Texas for that shit. I know we had a cut-off moment there, but the dogs were irascible for a moment. I'm assuming they were in their cage, because that's where we both found them, so I think they knew. They knew to do something irascible. I will say they were kind of avoiding me too a lot. They usually like to hang out with me. I was like, it was interestingly odd. I was like, why y'all like hiding? He was like the only one that kind of like chilled for a minute, but he was under here the whole time, avoiding me. He usually wants to be all up my grill, be like, oh. Jazzy, well, she's just Jazzy. She just kind of does whatever she wants. She just does her own thing. Oh, I was hoping I could try to do a little pop, but I can't even do it that way. Well, at least my neck's better, but fuck. I need to like be better about my mosh shit and not get so injured. I will say, like, some of the easier methods of moshing is always circle pits, because honestly, in a weird way, they are more common than usual from what I've noticed, but I'm kind of okay with that. Just on the version that they are kind of easier to handle. So all I have to do is just kind of like walk/run-ish while being like, yeah, doing shit like that and pushing people every so often. Pretty easy. And the cool thing is, you know, you can kind of make it like a pseudo hurricane pit where in the center you have like the eye of chaos going on while people around surround that. Where it's like two pits in one. You got like one pit where everyone's just pushing each other, but then you have a circle pit around that. That's a pit. That's like peak. Especially if it's like hardcore as fuck. Ooh. Oh. Then some raw intensity. Because, another really good one is the Wall of Death, too. And the Wall of Death is actually not nowhere near as bad, especially, you know, if you're on the front lines. It really isn't as bad as you think. There's even times where I'm in the middle, where there's like a Wall of Death, but there will be like a couple people in the middle that just get hit by both sides at once. And I've literally had one point where I was in the middle, just like, let's go, and then it just breaks down. I just went, oh, bitch, smash, and I just start going in. It's just like, sometimes, you know, especially in the Wall of Death, whether you're in the middle, one side or the other, or even like one of the rear echelon ranks in a pit like that, it's fun. It's nowhere near as bad as people think it is. I'm not gonna lie, half the time people usually like slow down and stop to not like full like pierce and like ram each other kind of shit, you know. People usually slow down once they get to each other, like right at the point, you know, to kind of just, boop, you know, kind of just bump into each other kind of thing, instead of like full ramming speed. So Wall devs aren't really nowhere near as bad. The only time I'd say they can get really fucking crazy is at like if it's like a Monomarth or like Bethlegor or some shit like that, like some really heavy shit. Because there's been wall deaths there where yeah they get pretty fucking brutal. But at the same time, there's also been some oddly enough chill pits with a Monomarth, at least as an example, because they were the ones who started like the Viking rowing pit, which is the most simplest of all the pits. It's just a bunch of dudes that just sit down and pretend to row a boat like a Viking. That's it. That's pretty much it. And I've been to one of those too. Funny enough, with Hailstorm, when they had a kind of a battle song they played, I think it was Nancy the Tavern Wench. Like a few people initially started it, and then a bunch of others. Because initially it was like everyone with their lights up doing this, but then a bunch of others noticed that and they just put that shit away and just started joining in. And I was kind of near the edge at this point, and I was like, hell yeah, I didn't think they'd play the song. And I'm just sitting here like bopping. I look over and I just see this row pit, like this Viking rowing pit growing. And I'm like, I'm bumping in. I'm like, bump in a little bit, go down. A bunch of other people start coming in. We just start joining in on that. It's like, yo, this is actually fucking awesome. I wish I had a short or something of that. Because I did get some of the songs uploaded from that show, but fuck, I should have gotten that at least a little bit. God damn it. Hindsight's a motherfucker. But won't be the last time I see the Hailstorm. Next time they're in Portland, I'm definitely going to have to check them out again. Which sucks because I think they just recently came into town earlier this year, and that means it's going to probably be a minute before they come back into town. Same thing with Gloryhammer too. They came into town not that long ago. I think actually it might have been another dual tour with Hailstorm and Gloryhammer, if I remember correctly. Which, fuck, if that's the case, then god damn it. Might be a minute before I see either of them. I do know that Gloryhammer is making a new album, so they might be touring sooner than Hailstorm is. And their new music video for their album coming up, like, ooh. Their new song, oh shit. There's some lore drop. I'm just like, oh hell. It's been a nice minute since I heard a song. Nice. Since we're kind of chilling a little bit, I am feeling a little bit of food, and I am thinking about some of that dank pizza that he was talking about. But I'm eating my sandwich first. Unless, I guess, suppose there's a little less, chat revival. Maybe not. Who knows? But at the very least, I'll kill this first. And we're almost at the 2-hour mark, so if anything, I might, put a little bow there. Chill a little longer till then. Got some time till then. But might as well wrap it up with a nice little bow instead. Oh, I love how, YouTube automatically put it back to top messages. Seriously. Thanks, YouTube. Thanks for being such a good sport. so caliente, so excelente. I mean, honestly, at least, you know, seems like it hasn't been too bad. I'm not even gonna lie, I honestly thought that, especially with my show and how I was feeling pretty much predominantly all fucking day today, I was thinking I was gonna call this way earlier. Be like, yeah, my neck, this and that, meh. It's too unbearable. Just could call it. But surprisingly, no. I'm actually kind of glad that like it started feeling better later in the last little part of the shift. Then just getting off work, I was like, oh damn, starting to kind of finally loosen itself out a little bit. Not quite yet though. I'm also kind of half tempted to even like sleep on a couch over there, in the other room, just so I can like finagle some of the cushions a little bit, just like put myself at a certain angle and just like. Because I feel like that would probably be preferable. Just a little bit. Top this off and then save it for that last little mock-up. That'd have been better. Ugh. We'll stay at I am still feeling it, and it's just like, oof. But nothing like a good little sandwich and some pizza to fix and solve that problem. That's for sure. You know what? I'm also kind of been thinking of like a little bit of a film to maybe watch or something. I've heard his session is actually pretty good. I've been hearing like a guy I like to listen to for streams and shit that does similar stuff like this, Paul's Ego. He was talking that movie up, and I think it's on Hulu. Also, I'm thinking about trying to watch the third Terrifier because I've seen the first two. I want to try to catch up, so I'm thinking that. But there's also like some other movies I haven't seen yet that I want to catch up and check up on too. I'll see what's around. I might have to check that one out. See what's up. But I might, check out either Obsession or Terrifier 3. I feel like those are going to be the first things that come to mind. I'm just trying to think of like any other movies that I haven't seen yet that I've been meaning to. So I know there's a fuckload of them anyway. I need to like start writing this shit down or something. When it comes to like shows and movies, I just need to start watching and, at least whatever little spare time I got, do that. I'll think of some. Alright, cool. We're at like that too much. Sweet. Excellent. You know what streaming platform has the substance? Because I haven't seen that movie since it was in theaters, and that is a fucking amazing movie. And honestly, I've been kind of thinking about rewatching that. Don't throw it, don't cry. Smoke weed and get high. Right? Yo, Marx, you got like a movie recommendation? Wow, I also love how YouTube was like, hey, we gotta reconnect for a minute, like right before I was about to wrap it up anyway. Like, wow. Lovely. At least it still kept my timer going the way it is, because now I don't have to guess. But wow, cool. Thanks, YouTube. That's always amazing. Always good when you buffer every so often. How about Spaceballs? Have you seen that? Of course I have. Dude, it's one of my most favorite movies. I reference Spaceballs all the goddamn time. I mean, to be fair, I haven't seen that one in a while. I guess that one, not as like a quote unquote throwaway, but at least if all else fails, it's a classic. I can always find. I think it's free on YouTube too. So there is that. So, oh, you know what? Is there a Mel Brooks movie I haven't seen yet? I think there is. I've seen a lot of clips, and I actually tried to watch Blazing Saddles. Maybe Blazing Saddles. That'd be a good option, actually. Yeah, because I haven't seen Blazing Saddles since in its totality. I've seen a lot of clips. I pretty much know about the movie. You know, I've seen enough of it, but that might be a movie I might want to actually legit sit down and watch. Because I tried to once, but me and my buddy were a little too messed up / like I don't really remember much of it, you know, our time trying to watch that. So I'm just like, yeah, that'd probably be a good thing to watch again. I'm just chilling, nesting and resting my neck and back and everything because I got an elbow or something in that pit, and it murked me. And the fact that I'm feeling this so hard now, I'm just like, oh god, I really need to get back in shape so I don't feel like this. Like, goddamn. But, you're past that little 2-hour mark, so even though I like to stream a lot and long, we'll call a little bit now at this point. So, peace the fuck out, and of course, we shall see y'all that next one. You know what? I guess depending on what happens for tomorrow, I might, do a quick little morning stream before I go to work. I don't know. We'll see. Not confirming it though, but till then though.